Sarah the Rebel.
And this is
Woman Up
Podcast.
This is a show all about how, nope, I'm not going to do that Will Smith rhyme again. That was a terrible decision the last time I did it.
I loved it.
Thank you.
I encourage bad puns.
I encourage deviancy. This is a show about geeky things from the perspective of two crazy cat lady feminist types. We like to talk about diversity and inclusiveness and all sorts of geek happenings around the world. Normally, we're set up to talk about geek news, that we dive into a main topic, then we give you our chick picks, but this is a special episode where we are mostly talking about Jessica Jones and Thanksgiving, so we decided to switch up the format.
Who cares about the news? Civil War who? I'm really excited for Civil War, actually.
Yeah, let's talk about that trailer first.
Real quick.
If the man with the bag could just chill out for a moment. Just all bag all the time. So, for those of you who haven't seen the trailer, it depicts what will eventually be the fight between Iron Man and Captain America, and shows kind of choosing sides and who's going to show up. I did hear one friend complain that he felt that it revealed way too much of the plot, though. Which is interesting because...
Really?
There really isn't going to be too many surprises unless, you don't know anything about Civil War, which I feel like at this point there's been so much talk about it, it's pretty hard to avoid that kind of spoiler. But I think everybody's favorite gif and favorite moment for the trailer is when Black Panther kicks the shit out of Bucky.
Oh my god.
It's a great gif, and it can be used for anything, any occasion.
Anything at all. So
I'm not racist, but
boom!
Just anything you need it for.
Your grandma starts talking about Donald Trump, boom!
Just kick him right in the chest.
Immediately.
Right
Bye, Grandma.
Bye, Grandma.
That's what you get for serving cranberry sauces here.
Cranberry gelatin can be quite delicious.
I've never had good cranberry anything at Thanksgiving.
I think it's an acquired taste.
I think it really is.
Because I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, I'm going to have a little cranberry on the side. Like I'm an old lady or something. I've accepted it.
Let me add some prunes to my plate.
One day I'll eat
exactly.
Prunes. Yeah, I'll work my way up from cranberries to prunes. I think it's on the fast track. So the trailer is pretty interesting. I like how much Anthony Mackie was in the trailer, so it's good to know we're going to get a bunch of him as the sidekick, because I really love his interactions with Captain America.
I'm worried about Rhodey.
I don't think Rhodey's gonna make it, man.
I'm worried about Rhodey.
I mean, I didn't see him in a trailer. He's probably not.
Rhodey was in the trailer. He was lying in Tony's arms, shot with a glass. Yes.
I thought that was just an Ultron clone.
No, that was Rhodey.
Oh man, if Rhodey dies. Oh, Marvel, don't do that. Marvel,
please don't.
You've made quite a few missteps, but I'd like to believe that you learn for each of them. Don't you kill that black man. You better kill somebody else. You better kill some fucking body else. You know I wouldn't miss at this point? Scarlet Witch. I don't know that hoe. I'm just saying. I don't know her at all.
Hawkeye.
Think about it. Hawkeye. Get him out of here.
Should have been gone last movie, honestly.
I know. How dare they take Quicksilver so much more
Seriously.
interesting at that point?
I was so upset. I think I've already ranted about it on the show, but Hawkeye should have died.
Yeah, I would have if we could have just switched that out.
Natasha could have adopted his family, and then had a family, and what else could have happened? Oh yeah, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch wouldn't be forever separated. We could continue to watch Aaron Taylor Johnson in that shirt, and everything would be great. And then Jeremy Renner wouldn't have to go to Marvel press conferences anymore.
So we wouldn't have to hear that potato speak. It would be wonderful. If only. Call me Joss Whedon. We have great ideas.
So good.
So that was a cool trailer. Anything else from the trailer you want to talk about? It was very exciting.
I'm really interested in how it seems like Black Widow is guiding the decisions of the rest of her team, and the conflict that she's feeling, because Captain America's her bestie. They've been on road trips together.
They made out.
They made out to avoid suspicion. Like
all best friends do.
Sometimes you do. You have to hide yourself, and then you make out with your best friend.
Right.
That's how it works. So I'm interested in seeing and hoping that she and Scarlet Witch are being utilized properly, but I don't have high hopes.
Yeah.
But I really like that whole exchange, between Captain America and Iron Man, about Bucky, he's my friend, and Tony's I was too.
And I was like, oh shit. But I also want to be like, you weren't really though.
You were kind of a bad friend.
I watched y'all were frenemies. That would be Cordelia in season 1 being mad that Buffy wasn't her friend. Like,
yeah.
you're maybe you don't know what a friend is, Tony Stark. And then I felt like he said his name wrong too. I thought he said Tommy, and I was like, what the fuck is Tommy?
Also,
like, Captain America doesn't even know your name, Tony.
And also, I don't like the fandom name Stucky. I prefer Buck Rogers. I'm putting in my vote for that.
So in the Caribbean, Stucky is a type of dance. So let's not go with that one. Let's not go with that one at all. I split my pants doing the Stucky once.
Oh, wow.
I got free drinks for the rest of the night, though.
Not bad. Well, that makes up for it.
Definitely. So, next thing we want to talk about.
Jessica Jones. Let's deep dive. Let's go right into it. I want to hear your opinions first because you just finished it.
Yes.
Like just before the show.
So I have so many thoughts on this show. Yes. It's very layered. I think that's the first thing I can say that I really appreciate about this show. It's not what you see on the surface. It's not cut and dry. It's not a little, let me pop into this. It's got so many layers to it. First of all, the casting, totally on point. The set design, the cinematography, the lighting, like, in all ways, shapes, and forms, I think they made the writing, of course, the dialogue, the chemistry between the characters, I think they created a show that was damn fucking good. Odd about it being in the superhero world, or what I needed it to do for Jessica Jones, or what it needed to do for diversity, or anything, outside of anything like that, I think they made a great fucking show. And it's not that common anymore. Yeah. I mean, so many shows you watch, you're like, okay, the acting's a little corny, but when you get into it, the story's really good. Or, oh, the story's a little corny, but the actors, like, their chemistry and everything is great. You'll love it anyway. No, this is a show where it's like, I can talk about Jessica Jones for, like, 4 hours. Yeah. It's good. I guess now that I've finished it, my main takeaways are, the only problems I had with it is it was one of those things where it had to be a mini-series done like this, I think. Because it was so sad. Yeah. Like, they constantly had to get you up and get you back down, and it got to the point where you started to expect all the downs. You were like, nope, I already know what this is. I already know he's not going to be there when so-and-so wakes up. Nope, I already know that person's going to die. It became predictable in its effort to keep bashing down the characters, which of course is something that Game of Thrones can tell you is a great way to get audiences to care, but if you do it too much, then they don't care, because like, all right, this is just a depressing freaking show at this point. Yeah. So I do think it could have done with a few more high notes.
So I want to get the bad out of the way first, and then we can talk about all the cool stuff that happened. The utilization of diverse characters, especially those of color, was not very great. I was really impressed with the way Luke Cage's role was. I was really impressed with him being such a strong character and also not intruding on what Jessica had to do and her character. He never impeded on her, so Luke Cage was done perfectly. It was a great way to introduce him into this and make people really care about him. I think Malcolm was nice. Like, somebody had to be a damsel at some point. And for a damsel, he was very useful. And he had his own story. He regained his agency. I thought that was cool. Right. But I think the role that I was most excited for was Claire Temple, because I knew that Rosario Dawson was coming to Jessica Jones. We didn't know in what capacity, but it was kind of just like, passing on the message here. Let me talk about Daredevil 90% of the time I'm here. So it was like, well, especially because she's one of those characters that connects all 4 of those series, it looks like. Like, if they put her in Iron Fist, she's officially in all of them. Right. And I guess her role is going to be bigger in Luke Cage because her mother's coming in and all this. So I understand that, like, maybe it wasn't the right time, but it was still a little, like, meh.
Right. I mean, even we actually did a little talk on the Black Girl Nerds podcast, which you can listen to right after this show, or tomorrow, or in the morning, whenever you want, where we had a little segment where we talked about our feelings, and one of the things we touched on is they switched the gender of one of the characters. Jerry, the lawyer in the comics, is a male character, and it was beautiful to watch. This is a female character. I don't know if you got the same feelings I got, but, like, watching a female character get to bang her secretary and be all powerful and sexy and controlling and, like, in charge felt amazing to me. Like, getting to see all those tropes just turn on their heads. Oh, my conniving, vindictive, wife who I'm getting a divorce from. Like, every single thing, they kept it the same.
Yeah.
And it was great for that, and it was beautiful to watch. But she could have been Asian. She could have been Latina. She could have been black. She could have been another race to up the diversity of the main characters. Because if you look at the main cast, we've got Jessica who's white, Trish who's white, Jerry who's white, Simpson who's white, Luke who's black, Malcolm who's black, the two creepy twins upstairs who are white. You know what I mean? Like, it was very, like, a lot of side characters were black people or Spanish people or Asian people. That was great, but, like, let's try to bring main characters that we know we can do this to, right? So let's work on that, Marvel. As we keep, that's our note that we keep giving you, Marvel. I don't know why you aren't listening to us.
I mean, you took a step upward, which is great. It's always nice to see that. So yeah, just keep on. Here's more notes, which is awesome. But overall, you know, like, now that I've gotten that out of the way, I fucking love Jessica Jones. This show was amazing. It was so well put together. You mentioned the lighting, and we talked about this a little on Black Girl Nerds. But I love the way that purple was used to shadow, like, either that Kilgrave was coming, or just the horror of thinking
PTSD,
about him, the
right.
PTSD. That's a big thing. Anytime she had it, it was purple.
Right.
So I thought that was a wonderful use of lighting, and I love the way that the show looks. Like, overall, the noir feel of it is really cool. So
Definitely.
I enjoyed that.
And speaking of the PTSD, it was something that I was initially concerned about, being someone who's gone through some of the similar things. Those of you longtime watchers know I've been through rape, I've been through assault, all those things. And I was worried that the show would be triggering. But I think, for me, it was handled in an artistic enough way that, and an empowered enough way that I didn't feel any panic or anything watching it. Now, everybody's different. It might be triggering for some people. But I really appreciated that Jessica Jones knew that it wasn't her fault. And constantly said that. Even when she kind of felt like maybe it was her fault, she verbally said, "This is not my fault." And I felt that that was her speaking to everyone. And that happened multiple times in the show. From rape, from mental abuse, from physical abuse, verbal abuse. So many different things that happen in people's lives that they're kind of blamed for were turned on their head in this show. And specifically, at some point or another, someone was like, "That is not your fault. Say it. Say it out loud. It's not my fault. I didn't do that." Like, that's a beautiful thing to see in a show. Because so many shows get that wrong. Or they try to use rape as something sexy. And I think this show did a really good job of kind of, everything was coded language, right? Like, when Hope wouldn't get out of the bed. You know, we can say easily, okay, that was because she was mind controlled, but in the average woman's life, it's because he's controlling her some other way. Maybe if he told her, if you leave, I'll tell the cops that you drink and they'll take away your kids. If you leave, where are you going to go? You don't have any money. If you leave, I'll tell the cops you were a bad person. Like, there's so much that men and women can do when you're in an abusive situation to keep you from leaving. You don't even need mind control. So I really appreciated all of that about the show.
Yeah, I thought that was done really well. And I know someone in chat is bringing up Variant Dash. You're bringing up things that don't make Jessica heroic. But I think that out of every dark superhero story, Jessica has the, I don't want to say reasons, but all of the story ticks to not make her someone who not only wants, like, at the end of the show, she was deleting voice messages because she couldn't handle that. And I understand that. And maybe now isn't the time that Jessica Jones wants to be a hero. We have the Defenders event for that.
Right.
We have Luke Cage to move her story forward. So this, I think it's season 1, she wasn't supposed to be a hero.
Right.
She was supposed to be someone who found herself because she tried being a hero, and that was what fucked everything up. So I don't think, I mean, this is a superhero show. It's about someone with powers who occasionally saves people and really cares about people, but is also just in a place where she can't. Like, I mean, a lot of people have brought up, like, why didn't Jessica ask for help? Why didn't Jessica ask for help? Why would you ever bring anyone around Kilgrave? Like, this one dude...
She even said that.
Yeah, why would you...
Could you imagine the Hulk?
Can you... Yeah, like, oh yeah, let me call up the Avengers. You want to freaking put Captain America around Kilgrave? Really? Like, let's think. So...
Right. And plus, I do like in the show that, like you said, no, people aren't really heroes. Her and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Luke Cage just wants to work at his bar and be left alone. She didn't go to him plenty of times when she could have, because it would have been incredibly selfish for her to pull somebody else into her problems. And there were problems. She's got a lot of problems. She's not a hero, and I think that's what made me love her so much, because I'm like, this is me.
Yeah.
This is me if I had super strength. Why do I have friends? But I loved that it wasn't easy to get in contact with the Avengers. I love that. It feels in this show and in Daredevil, it really drives home, like, if you were the average citizen walking around New York and somebody stole your sister, how are you going to contact the Avengers? Do you have Tony Stark's number? Like, can you get him to care? Do you know how to call the Hulk from the sky with, like, a big fist light in the sky? Like, you don't have a way as the average person to reach the Avengers. They're kind of like the elite. They take care of alien invasions and stuff. They don't care about human trafficking. Like, it's kind
if
of
you're a journalist, you can't just call Ben Affleck. You know, like, that's kind of how I see it. Is like, yes, I've written about Ben Affleck. Yes, I know that Ben Affleck is in this movie, but he's not my bestie, and I can't just, hey, this thing we have a relation to, like, now we're best friends, and I know you. Like, it's like that, and I like that about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is it does keep these people apart, because it would be unrealistic for all of them to just, let's all have a 50-person superhero squad.
That would be hilarious.
Like, it would be crazy.
Also, they can't even keep, like, a 3-person squad from fighting each other half the time, so bless their hearts. So I did enjoy that about the show as well. Let's see some of the other characters. Trish. I love Trish. And I love the relationship of Trish and Jessica.
I thought that was done so well. I've actually I've been watching 2 shows now with adoptive sisters, and that's Supergirl and Jessica Jones, and both of those relationships are done so well, and especially with Trish and Jessica, where both of them have been abused in many ways, and both of them have suffered similar but very different things. So I think it's a pretty, like, great look at sisterhood. Like, if you have a sister or even a sibling, there are notes in the series that are like, that's exactly how I would feel. Like
the way that they aren't too lovey-dovey.
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of shows get wrong about siblings. They have them, like, especially brothers and sisters.
Seriously.
They'll have them, like, all over each other, like, I love you so much. I'm like, I don't touch my brother like that. Like, ugh. Like, it's, you would have to be dying. They'd be like, oh my god, it's my brother.
Yeah.
But a lot of times,
not everybody is, like, in the middle of a war.
Right.
So.
and even when it's not a war, so many times where the brother-sister or sister-sisters and brother-brother thing is done where they're weirdly too sweet to each other and too close, or they're too childish. And I think this was a great, like, there were so many moments, like you said, where it would be, like, the equivalent of being, like, I'm not touching you between them. And I was like, this is, like, very real. They did such a good job. And I really think a lot of the things that I like about the show came from having a female writer. There were so many little codes and notes that you would recognize. And I don't know if male viewers recognize the same things, like I said, but that felt very real that I don't normally get to feel in a lot of shows. So that was very nice to me.
Yeah. And, like, I think that with these shows all seeming to be, like, kind of origin stories, this was definitely an origin story that didn't, like, irk me. Like, I know that I've read comics. I know that eventually Jessica, like, kicks it with the Avengers, and she does this and that, and she has a baby with Luke Cage, and in a certain timeline, that baby becomes Captain America, which is super dope. Amazing. I'm so happy. In 50 years, Marvel will be making that movie, I hope. Hopefully sooner. But it's like, I think it's a really well done origin story, and I think that it's cool that Marvel is grouping them into genre. Like, you know, Daredevil was a martial arts show. That's what it was. You didn't get the, I don't want to say, like, the plot, because the story was fun. It was a really fun show. I enjoyed it. I like Jessica Jones a lot better.
Me too.
And I think that where Daredevil served us so much action and so many incredible, like, I'm a huge martial arts fan, so I was just like, this is awesome, that hallway fight.
The choreography in Daredevil
amazing.
Was very, but it was made to be these beautiful fights. And in Jessica Jones, Jessica's a brawler.
Yeah.
The fights were always hard and, like, took a lot of effort, and they weren't pretty, and they weren't the focus either. Like you said, this was more about noir and kind of relationships and mystery, and then, like, any other detective show in a lot of ways. And the fights were not these beautiful martial arts fights. They were, I'm going to punch you until you stop getting up.
Yeah, pretty much. It was, and I love how clumsy she was about that, because it kind of shows you, like, how much confidence she may have, like, lost from her superhero days, because it, you know, when she was Jewel in the comics, Jewel was, like, about it, and she was into being a superhero. She liked fighting. And then after everything happened, she was like, I don't know if I can do this again. So I think that clumsiness that was even in the choreography of the fight scenes for Jessica Jones was on purpose.
I think it was interesting, that little Easter egg about Jewel and the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed
that. was really funny. But to talk about Patsy Walker, because that was, at first I don't think they had ever announced that she was Patsy. Like, she has been called Trish in all of the promotions. Mm-hmm. I think on IMDb she was Trish until, like, the series came out. So when they dropped that Hannah Montana-esque Patsy Walker thing, I was like, holy crap, it's Hellcat. Like, yes. So I'm really excited about that. And, you know, what's crazy is, like, with Simpson, he is also another character from the comics. And, like, they set up his origin and made him another character that was in that abusive space, in that, like, dangerous space as a human being, in an obsessive and addicted space that he is. So it's going to be really interesting. Like, I'm pretty sure he's going to be season 2's villain if he doesn't fuck things up for the Defenders ahead of time. So it's going to be really interesting seeing how that develops, because he scared me. He was like ugly Captain America. And
yeah, he bothered me even before he did anything technically wrong, after he was out of the control. Because to me, everything about him screamed abusive, I get what I want, I don't care what you want. Yeah. And I enjoyed how many times Trish and Jessica shut him down, but not enough. Like, Trish was like, oh, I guess I'll sleep with you. I'm like, this is the weirdest first date I've ever seen. Yeah. He gave you a gun. He's refusing to leave your property. Like, something right here. And then it just got worse and worse and worse, to the point where every time he appeared on screen, I was just like, this asshole.
Yeah, it was like, shut up.
You know who I did appreciate? Clemens. Yeah. It was so nice to have a character who was a cop who, once he saw the truth, was like, you're right, I'm going to handle this, I'm going to write this down, yep, we're going to book this, absolutely, you're correct. Like, so many times in shows it would be like, I don't know what I saw, you can't prove anything, just what's going on? He didn't do any of that. He was like, yep, everything you told me was right, I'm going to wrap the whole shit, yep, we're going to get this guy, don't even worry about this, I got you. I was just like, I really appreciate that, Clemens. Absolutely. Thank you for being so, like, on it.
And, you know, I'm at a point where, like, on a lot of notes, like the bad guys or bad people doing bad things trope is starting to wear on me, and I thank goodness for Supergirl, because it's so spirited, but I really enjoyed this show, even though not everybody was a nice person and not everyone is like a hero, you know, because maybe they're just not heroes yet. And one last note on Hellcat, when Patty, like, fought, and, like, that fire in her eyes, even though one time it was because of drugs. The rest of it...
one time?
Yeah, the one time it was about drugs, and then the rest of it, Patty was like, oh, let's go, I want to fight now. So it was really, really cool.
Yes, I loved seeing her fight. I wanted to see her fight even more. And I can't wait. I feel like we will see her fight more.
Yes, I hope.
I was really happy that she was there even at the end. Even though they kind of used her as a damsel, it was fine, because Jessica wasn't using her as a damsel. And she hadn't, I snuck off to see what you did and got caught. It was, Jessica was like, you're my friend and I know you want to help, so let's do this. Yeah. And especially her last words to her before the whole thing with Kilgrave was kind of my favorite thing. Because she hasn't said it to anyone else in the show. So the fact that there was so much woman-to-woman love, not just the freaky gay kind. That's you, Jerry. With your fingering a girl on your desk. It made me so uncomfortable, because I imagined everything her head was doing. How you doing, Trinity? Anyway, but, like, the actual just, like, love you can have for somebody, it's beautiful. We don't get to see that too much, or at least we don't get to see it done very authentic, in what feels like an authentic way. And there were a lot of tropes besides that one that were kind of flipped on their head. We saw a lot of women doctors.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody noticed that, but we saw the last couple that we saw were a gay couple.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the last couple that Kilgrave mind controlled.
Right. So there was a lot of effort to put diversity into this show.
Yeah, and it was still kind of played out. It was so normal. Like, it wasn't... I mean, like, it should just be normal, but it was not like, look, a black person! Like, look, we included the gays!
Look at the gays! The
gays are here!
I just wear a shirt that says, I am the gay.
The gays.
Be like that episode of Archer where he like rolls by the roller skates and the blonde hair. You're like, this is how I gay. I'm gaying for you.
So I enjoyed that. I like that it was not talked about. It was just a very normal thing that happened because that's just how it is in real life. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So I really enjoyed that. Let's talk about Kilgrave.
Kilgrave.
He's scary.
Hate that motherfucker. So Lauren was actually Jamie was actually bringing up how she felt sorry for Kilgrave at points. Did you ever feel those kind of feelings for his character? I think we're just shitty people.
We're probably just, I was like, oh, that's really sad. You had a sad childhood, but like, I mean, it wasn't, it was never a pity or sympathy territory. It was like, oh, that kind of sucks, like, well, Darth Vader had a bad, turn too, and at least he turned back. You're an asshole.
I just like what Jessica said to the lady who tried to shoot her, and I think that's actually why that episode was in the story, is, like, my parents died in a car accident. You don't see me attacking drivers everywhere. It's like, bad shit happens, and you have to get over it. You can't go your life blaming other people or being, woe is me your whole life. Like, like she pointed out to him, he made a lot of excuses for himself. Like, oh, I didn't know how to take care of myself. I had to force people to take care of me. It wasn't my fault. Like, he refused to ever take responsibility.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
his choices and his actions, and yet he constantly told other characters that they weren't taking responsibility for their actions when he actually mind controlled them and they had no responsibility for their actions. It was an asshole.
That one tone he used with Jessica, where he was like, Jessica, and it was controlling. It was like, why aren't you living up to my expectations? And then after his parents showed up, I was like, no, fuck this guy. Like, I was already like, fuck this guy, but after everything with his parents, no. Like, it's just... No, he's a bad freaking person. He was a bad child. He even lied about what they were doing.
Right.
Like, and I'm sure, like, it was kind of unclear whether he actually knew or not.
I was wondering that. But if he didn't know, it's weird that he never asked them, why did you do these things to me? And they would have had to give him a real answer.
Yeah.
So, I don't necessarily believe that he didn't know. I think just like everything else, he was lying.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does.
Because he's a pathological liar, amongst so many other things. I know we brought up the smile thing, but there were lines that he said that were just so real.
Things that men have said to me in my life.
Yes, absolutely.
This supervillain was saying, and having the power to enforce it. And I think it was such a... it made sense, and it was good for the show, and it was good for the original story that was told. But I also hope that someone walked away from that understanding a little bit more about what we mean when we say it really, really bothers us to be told to smile. It makes us feel uncomfortable, and all the things that are bad with that. Why, when guys take you out to a fancy dinner and buy you a dress, you don't have to fucking sleep with them. Like, there were so many things said, just like you said, that I was like, oh, look at that, real life. I know that douche. Like, you don't need super villain powers to hurt people. And it was nice to see that represented. Yeah,
and I just overall, like, I'm kind of taking a little pleasure in all of the David Tennant's fans who are getting their hearts broken. Like,
why you're so
how could
addicted?
you do this to the 10th Doctor? I'm like, yeah, that's reality. Like, deal with it. This is one of his best performances ever. Like,
He was
so scary.
He was legitimately creepy.
Yeah.
He did such a good job being creepy. That whole thing where they went to Jessica's house, that whole time I'm just there like, no.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
And in his mind, he's doing something great for her. And I think that's probably the point where Jamie was like, oh, I feel for him because he's just trying to make her love him. But for me, I'm just like, I know this douche.
Yeah.
The person who thinks that what he thinks is right for me is what I should think is right for me. This person that believes that I'm the one being unreasonable because I don't get to be my own person with my own thoughts and hopes and feelings. I need to be a vessel for what he wants me to be.
Absolutely.
And that's what Kilgrave was doing.
That's happened. Like, that has actively happened to me before in my childhood. Like, when I was a young teenager, a guy tried to control me exactly that way by enforcing his ideas on me. Yeah. And it was really scary. So, like, it was incredible how real the portrayal was. So, good job, you scary asshole.
Yeah. Good job, you scary asshole.
Let's see. What about what are you hoping for with Jessica Jones season 2, even though it looks like it's going to take place after Defenders?
Yeah, I'm even wondering if we'll get it in the end. Because I think the story was great, but if they're planning on doing more crossovers or more other episodes, I think they're going to have to look at what DC is doing on television. I think they're going to have to integrate more and more. I mean, we already saw how integrated Luke Cage was into Jessica Jones. And we didn't see any of these characters in Daredevil.
Yeah.
So, I think in Luke Cage, Jessica Jones is going to be really heavy in there. And Misty Knight.
Yeah.
And then when we get to Iron Fist, I think Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are going to be very heavy in there as well. So I'm not necessarily sure their ideas for ever doing another season will happen for Jessica Jones. We already know they like to push female things back anyway. But if it did happen, I would want to see Hellcat.
Yes.
I would want to see Jessica Jones and Luke actually trying that relationship out.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh, and I want to see Simpson get his ass kicked again.
Yes, like, I hope that Simpson is a major villain just so he can get his ass handed to him.
I hate that guy.
God. And then, like, it's also just, like, Simpson will be a completely different type of villain who still has those abusive traits, but is also, like, a bomb. Like, when I see Simpson, I hear, like, radio static, because he's so loud and assertive, and when he has, basically in the comics, he's Nuke, and he's this crazy dude who, like, gets all jacked up and, like, paints his face with the American flag and does all kinds of really fucked up crazy shit, and he's always screaming. And so that's, like, kind of what I saw there. And, like, so I can definitely see Nuke becoming a really big villain in the future. And then I'm also interested in how a season will work post Defenders. Like, once she joins a superhero team, what becomes of Jessica Jones? So it's interesting. Like, I hope everyone's raving about it. Everyone loves it. So hopefully, I mean, Agent Carter got season 2 and it only got, like, alright ratings. Right. So we'll see what happens. I hope that we see more Jessica Jones because I love these Netflix shows.
Yes.
Yes.
So feel free to tweet us, #Jessica Jones, #WomenUpShow. Tell us if you had any thoughts we didn't talk about. We'll be sure to retweet them and share them and chat with you about that. I think we're going to move on to some of the things we are thankful for this year because Thanksgiving is like tomorrow.
Yeah, it is tomorrow. See, I wasn't even originally able to do this show, and then, like, a series of unfortunate events happened. But fortunately, that meant I could do this show. So I'm very happy and thankful to be here.
Yeah. So that's Katrina's
Number
first
one.
thankful. My first thankful is I'm very thankful for all of you who have been watching and who go back and watch the other videos, who listen to our podcast on allgames.com or iTunes. Thanks for watching us and listening and sharing and tweeting. It makes us feel really good that we're not talking to the air.
Yeah.
And you guys
really
are
nice.
fun, and we like having these conversations with you, so thank you.
It's been really fun to see, like, you guys are the ones who are kind of helping our show develop because what you say and, like, your viewership is, like, what helps guide us into making this a better show. So, you know, maybe one day we'll be on a major cable network. Maybe not. Hopefully soon.
We're trying to work on that, man.
Pay us.
We're gonna work it. Pay us. Pay us. Damn it.
Not you guys, but somebody pay us. And yeah, I'm really happy about that. But I guess I am thankful for the massive conversation around women in the entertainment industry. Yeah.
I am thankful for the 5 developers that I shared and wrote an article about, and many more female developers, women who are working in video games, who are making the games that I love, who are making games that are pushing the boundaries, like Rihanna Pratchett and Tomb Raider, and making it such a psychological action game. I really appreciate everything that these women are doing, and I appreciate that they're doing it despite some of the pushback they may have received or may not have received. The fact that even if it's a hard work day, or even if somebody sends them death threats because they said they didn't like jiggly boobs, that these women are still going to work and making great video games. So thank you to all of you. You're a rock.
If you guys want to know some of these women, you should check out Sarah's work on remesh.com, because I believe you wrote an article.
Yes, I did. Yes. I can grab you all the link.
Yes. It's a great article on 5 lady developers that she is thankful for, and that I believe you should be thankful for as well. What was the third thing? I'm thankful that Sarah's my friend.
Oh, liar.
I don't like touching, and I'm kind of a cold bitch, but I really appreciate you. And I'm glad that we run this show together.
This was like the Jessica Jones when she said, I don't normally say I love you. And she was like, girl. That's me right now. Oh, well, now I have to say that back.
Aww.
Of course I'm thankful for Katrina, because none of you fuckers would watch if it was just
please. You should see my Twitch channel. Like, I think that a cat, like, what is that? What is it?
A cat walked by?
Not a cactus, the other thing.
The tumbleweed.
I think a tumbleweed joined my chat and flew through and then left.
A tumbleweed joined my chat and then he abandoned me. He didn't even hang out. That's hilarious. And also, it takes time.
I know. It's fun. But follow me on Twitch at OhCatrina. You guys should do it.
Hilarious. I think a tumbleweed joined and then left.
This is also great because it means that sometimes maybe I'm going to try to force Sarah to come to my house.
Oh, yeah.
To do the podcast. I just need to get my camera. And then we're good. And we just do it anywhere.
And one day that will happen. I'm sure of it. I am sure.
One day I'll get her out. I live a 3-minute drive away. Like, I could like get you a lift over there. It would cost me like $4. Like,
yep. You know this podcast happens because it's in my house, right?
Like, God damn it. Okay.
No. We'll make it happen. We are gonna make this happen. Don't you fret.
Fine.
I'm also very thankful for Dragon Age. Because it gave me something to do for a year. Maybe a little longer. Yeah, who's counting? At least 400 hours, and it made me happy, and it made me sad, and it made me cry, and it made me laugh, and it made me fall in love with characters, not real people. Real people are stupid. So I am thankful for Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yay! I am thankful for the Lucasfilm story group, because so far you guys haven't really fucked up at all.
You have not fucked up.
Good job! You haven't fucked up! I am thankful for the Lucasfilm story group for delivering the past year and a half of incredible content that has added so much richness to the Star Wars galaxy, including Leia wielding a lightsaber in the comic, which Sarah should read, which also is awesome because she becomes friends with Sama, but I'm not going to tell you anything else.
I'm gonna read it. You don't even have to say anything else. I'm gonna read it.
She's awesome, and they're friendly, and I'm like, it's amazing.
Katrina Flail.
That's all I wanted from the moment Sana came in. I was like, I want her to be Leia's friend. Like, I want Han to be like so uncomfortable, but he's also been fantastic. So overall, thank you so much. Thank you for Star Wars Rebels, where you have women who have so much charge in their stories. The latest Sabine and Hera episodes were incredible, and a cast of primarily people of color. In fact, none of the humans in the lead roles are white. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much, and thank you for putting Poe in that X-Wing and Jessica in that X-Wing, because it made me feel so happy.
Yes. I think that's most of the things I'm thankful for.
Yeah, mostly. Tapped out on thankful things.
I'm thankful that I'm alive after my surgery.
Yay!
I don't feel good, but I am here, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I am still on this plane of existence. No white people. Oh, God. Hey, guys, I'm also thankful that I got to hit All Games Network Video in the face with a hammer yesterday.
What? I missed out on that?
Yeah, so I'm sitting over here sick during RPG night, And the DM looks at me and he's like, and he signals about, hey, like, where's your hammer? And I'm like, and he's like, I'll get your hammer. So I have to point him until he, like, finds my hammer and he gives me my hammer. My hammer's like a big Thor's hammer. And so I'm lying there, I'm like, I'm sick, but I have my hammer. Anyway, Derek pissed me off so goddamn much that at the end of the night, in a fit of rage, I just threw that bitch straight at him. And I, boop, just hit him with the hammer. And then he acted right. He behaved after that. So I would highly recommend hitting your friends in the face with Thor's hammer.
That's how you keep them in line. Keep them in line. I'm thankful for keeping my friends in line.
Yeah, I gave a few pretend throws earlier throughout the night, so he didn't know that the real throw was coming.
Oh, that's great.
Keep your friends on their toes.
It's important advice to take home. Outside of that, I'm just very thankful for my friends. I'm very thankful for the experiences that I've gotten to have over the past year. As of next week, I am no longer the senior editor at moviepilot.com. Moving on to a marketing company that does work for Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, and also real cable channels that real cable channels that don't make very good shows in comparison. But it'll be fantastic. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be working like 5 minutes away from you on Hollywood.
So if she's ever late to the podcast
there's
again,
no excuse. If I'm ever late again, I'm like over there.
It's just who she is.
So yeah, I'm thankful for my new job.
Oh, I guess I should say I'm thankful for Caplon, aka Aaron,
Yay!
aka that guy whose arm you see a lot of times in streams, or whose sparkles you were hearing while he was eating something. Because throughout this year, he and the year before that, he's just been an amazing friend who helps me and takes care of me. And especially while I've been sick, he's been like buying me so much medicine I don't even have room in my medicine cabinet for all the things he's bought me. So
he has also been the impromptu IT guy for this show countless times, bringing you guys the content when we fuck it up. So, thankful for Caplon.
Yes, we are. All right, I think it's time to move on to
Chick Picks!
For those of you who are new to the show, Chick Picks is a section where we tell you things that we think you should check out.
Yay!
We're chicks and we made a pick, man. I already shared my first one, which was my latest article about some female developers I'm thankful for. I would love it if you give the article a read and then maybe check out some of the work from those developers and let's show some support and let's show that the video game industry is a great place for women to work.
My first chick pick is the art of Jeffrey Verege. He is a Native American comic book artist. You can check out jeffreyverege.com. And
how do you spell his last name?
Verregge. I can't remember.
I don't even think he's got 2 G's. But
I don't think it's 2 G's. But it's if you guys have
it is 2 G's and 1 R.
I'm crazy. Okay, yeah. So it's we're gonna post that link in just a second. But if you remember the Native American style Batman art, he did that. He did that superhero set. He's also advising on Red Wolf, running on Marvel right now. And I believe that Jeffrey needs like loads more attention because his art is incredible and absolutely.
I want some tattoos from that. Like eventually, when I start getting tattoos again, I'm gonna be like, "Hi, you don't know me, I'm a really big fan."
Curtis Weeb asked for artists for Rat Queens for this webcomic that he's thinking of doing, and I was like, oh, gotta get Jeffrey. Like that would be dope. I had like some other suggestions too, but that is my first chick pick.
Okay. My second chick pick is that you should watch Jessica Jones if you have not watched it. And you should feel free to tweet about it using the hashtag Jessica Jones. Because let's show Marvel that we really liked this show. Let's not just let the critics speak. Let's let the fans speak. This was great. We want more of this.
Yeah.
We want more kick-ass female characters who don't fit gender norms, hard-drinking, schlobby assholes. Like, that bitch was me. I want more of that, okay? So let's all show some support for Jessica Jones.
Yes,
and plus, if you haven't watched it, it's just fucking great. Go watch it.
Oh, it's an amazing show. Like, the only people that I've heard complain about it are the usual detractors that are like, women's is
drinking whiskey. Bullshit. Where are her titties?
Like, overall, it's been like, great, awesome, here's my one thing with it, and everything else is wonderful. And that's kind of how the overall reaction's been. So, go watch Jessica Jones. My second chick pick is very selfish. My YouTube channel has more action these days, and I'm going to be uploading a video every week starting on Tuesday of next week, which I believe is the 2nd. So you can check it out at youtube.com/0HCATRINA because I stole my other username and then couldn't figure out how to get into it. So if you look for that, for OhCatrina with a 0 instead of an O on YouTube, that is my channel. I would love it if you guys subscribed. We've got some cool stuff up right now, including the Hunger Games red carpet and my Star Wars trailer reaction, which for no reason at all, like, I have been looking at the analytics. It has all been from, like, the YouTube search page. Has over 27,000 views.
Wow.
I have no fucking clue.
Hey, just let it happen.
I was like,
man.
was this shared somewhere? No. Like, so it's pretty cool. So check it out. We're going to be having some stuff from Art Awakens, which is a gallery going on right now in LA with all of the Star Wars pieces that were put together for charity. And also a set tour from Grimm, if you guys are in that show. And then some makeup tutorials and other stuff. So yay!
That's awesome. Congrats.
Yay! Let's do videos together!
Yeah, let's. Anytime. My last chick pick is we were on Black Girl Nerds podcast, which is a really big honor. We were really excited about because we love Jamie and that whole crew. If you've never listened to them, please go. But I posted the link. You should listen to us. We talked about a lot of things. And that whole podcast is a Jessica Jones focused one. So there's different segments where they talk about different things per segment. So it should be really interesting. Go listen. Tell us what you think. And if you like it, you should tweet it, and you should follow them on Twitter. You can follow them either at @BlackGirlNerds or at BGN Podcast, or if you're bored, follow them at both. Why not both?
Yay! So my last chick pick, I know I said this is going to be all native, and then I just did not write down what I had. So instead, I'm going to share this really cute webcomic. If you guys are into magical girls and really cute shit, this one's called Princess Love Pawn. You can check it out at princesslovepon.com. And it stars a woman of color as a magical girl. And it's so cute, and it's so hard to describe. It's a magical girl series. If you've seen one, you know what you're getting, pretty much. But it's really cute. PrincessLovePawn.com. And
pawn is in a character, or pawn is in P-O-N?
P-O-N. Yep. Yeah, it's so cute. You guys, if you're into it, go check it out.
Speaking of which, Moon Girl...
And Dinosaur, something like Dinosaur.
That. Moon Girl and Dino? Red? I haven't bought it yet. Don't get mad.
That just came out.
But it just came out today. Why can't I remember what it's called? Anyway, go buy it. Just look up Moon Girl and a dinosaur. You'll find it.
Jesus.
Moon Girl.
It's Moon Girl and something dinosaur, I think.
I think it's just Moon Girl and dinosaur.
Really?
Right, that sounds
I think
weird,
you might
right?
be thinking of Lone Wolf and Cub, and that's kind of
like
the same.
You're a Lone Wolf and Cub.
That's the same beat.
How dare you? Devil Dinosaur.
There we go. I wanted to say Dragon Dinosaur.
I was like Red T-Rex. That's not his name. Moon Girl and Red T-Rex. Look
Clifford
it up.
the T-Rex.
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It just came out. I haven't bought it yet because I'm sick as shit. I'm going to a comic store. Go fuck yourself. But you should go buy it instead of fucking yourself.
Yes. And also you should catch up with all the Star Wars comics because Vader Down starts in January and it's going to be fucking crazy. And
Lando was great. I hope you
Lando was great. Shattered Empire was great. Just catch up on all the Star Wars comics before January because honestly before the 18th because it's all going to matter at that point. So
it's all gonna matter.
It's all going to matter when you walk into that theater.
I'm going to have to walk in at a loser theater in Hampton, Virginia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I won't be with my people.
I'm going to be at LA Live.
No. Cap One even got us tickets.
No!
I won't get the lightsaber battle or anything.
Oh my god. You probably can't even bring a lightsaber on the plane.
No. So, all my hopes and dreams are that when the second one comes out, people will be just as hype.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there'll be another lightsaber battle for me. But I just know in my heart that this is... But it would have cost like $230 to change my flight. So
I know.
Sorry, Star Wars.
Fair enough. You still get to see it. That's all that matters.
It's true.
And we can talk about it.
Anyway, I've been Sarah the Rebel.
And I have been OhCatrina.
Thank you for listening. If you are listening to this on allgames.com or if you've been listening to this on iTunes, thank you for watching. If you are watching this on YouTube or Twitch, we have been Woman Up Podcast.
Woo! Follow us on Twitter at Woman Up Show, and follow me at OhCatrina, and follow her at Sarah the Rebel, and you can pretty much find us anywhere by